Yes, yes. Ha, 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 ha. Welcome to Balloon Party, 101 ESPN. Tim McKernan, Jackson Burkett with you here. This show is driven by Munganess St. Louis Acura, Munganess Burkhardt Alton Toyota. I asked Jackson to turn the YouTube chat on, and now all of a sudden I've got a Warriors Thunder game on. What in the name is going on in here?
There's too much stuff going on. I got to be honest. There's too much. I can't hear a thing. My headphones aren't working.
I just don't know. I've been here since 7:06 today, and how are we in this position at 10:05? Time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers.
Fair question.
Now the fast lane from yesterday is up. Maybe we'll just replay that.
I only have the two hands, so I'm working that here on my hardest. Headphones
the
are
Cardinals
tangled.
win last night. Kind of, Randy Orton needs to show up to all the games, and Alec Burleson needs to switch his walk-up music permanently to Randy Orton's walk-up music. What's the best WWE walk-up music?
John Cena.
Really?
Yeah.
It's kind of quiche. All due respect.
I mean, it's the chalk answer, but it's the right answer.
I don't think it's the chalk answer at all.
You don't think?
Not
I feel like most people would say that.
slightest.
Where is this? Is ridiculous.
I think you either go Stone Cold or The Rock. I mean, now if you're old school, I think Rick Derringer. Watch this. I am a real American.
That was a big part of Hard Knocks. Big part of Hard Knocks.
The Bears edition?
Yeah. They had a rookie, Canadian rookie.
Spoiler alert. Guess nobody needs to watch Hard Knocks now.
It's all over social media. But they had a Canadian rookie offensive lineman.
Shawn Michaels, I'm a sexy boy. Watch this. I'm a sexy boy. Sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. Boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. Sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. Boy toy. There was so much giving to the audience there because I can tell Jackson is on the... If you're watching on YouTube, Jackson just threw something. I cannot work in these conditions with a loose cannon.
I can't even hear.
I just sang sexy boy to you.
I can hear that in my good ear, but the ear...
Is this Jackson's first day? That's from John Gray.
Might as well be.
Tim, you need to trade for Marshy. That's from John Scores.
Him. Fine. Can I go home?
I wouldn't be able to do a show, sexy handlebar mustache across from me. I couldn't do it.
No truer words haven't been said so far today. Your Shawn Michaels thing was whatever.
Put up with this flustered intern across from me.
I just can't. I need my adapter. I couldn't bring my adapter. There's no time to go back to the TMA studio because we're on 25 seconds after we're done with that show. I got my laptop needs charging.
That I'm in demand.
My laptop needs charging. Warriors Thunder's on the television. I can't get that right. YouTube's all over the place. What is that? What's going on there?
Says the web server's down on monitor 2.
I can't get anything going. Rockio, where's he? Must be nice.
What does that mean?
Well, Bradford was in. Love Bradford. Rockio.
So now you're vacation shaming Italian Americans from South St. Louis.
Yeah, I'll be out tomorrow.
Jackson's out tomorrow.
Yeah, so
that was probably it.
It's a look in the mirror
That was
moment.
probably the wrong line to take on that putt.
I would have
left to right downhill.
Want that one back.
Tiny Peepee says, LOL, rough start. And that's Don Peepee not happy with the show.
Yeah, that means nothing to me. But
oh, my gosh.
Just being honest. Just being honest. I respect and love that people listen to this program and are in the YouTube chat, but I do not work for Don Peepee.
Who do you work for? I mean, at least Don Peepee wets his beak on all of your income. I know that.
I work for the game. The game is what charges me.
Time to play the game, Triple H.
Is that a good... I feel like John Cena...
John Cena is just... It's not the answer.
Right.
But, I mean, as far as great wrestling walk-up music that, again, led to Alec Burleson's 2 hits, kind of should have been 3. And now he's going to play Randy Orton's music coming up to bat. What if that becomes Gloria for the 2024 Cardinals? What if that happens? It might sound absurd right now for a team that's 6 back. But if I would have told you in January of 2019 that Laura Branigan's song from Low so many years ago would have led the Blues to the Chalice, you would have scoffed at me. Well, what's it going to be like when there's a parade down Market on November 10th and Randy Orton's music is blaring through the streets of St. Louis?
I mean, if it nets a Cardinal championship, that's They could play any song, and I'm into it.
Look at that.
Like Gloria was awesome. I wouldn't necessarily say it's my favorite song, but I have very happy memories tied to it.
I'm a big fan of that Whaler song or Narwhal song that Jamie Rivers introduced
Brass
us to.
Bonanza.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
I like that. Again, it just reminded me of Slapshot, like some of the Charleston Chiefs would come out to. What were the brothers' name? The brothers in that?
Coles.
I don't think it was the Coles brothers. But
Hansons.
But Hansons, those guys were good. Those guys were good.
We gotta know that.
Well, it's a hockey thing.
We gotta know that. I mean, you're the one who brought up the Charleston Chiefs.
I know, but that's kind of like what they would play.
It's like you want to ingratiate yourself to the audience, and then you couldn't remember that they were the Hanson brothers, and then it just lost a lot of the credibility.
And I watched it like last week too, so it's even tougher.
Cardinals won't win another championship this decade. That's in the YouTube chat from the 89 Blues.
That's a take. I don't know. I think it's a little early.
All right, I'll give you 3 teams.
Okay.
Team most likely to win a championship first.
Okay.
Of these 3.
Yep.
Blues, Cardinals, Fighting Missouri football Tigers. I'm not your sexy boy. Sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. Boy toy. That was some killer music for you. Now I need your answer.
So I think that despite the Missouri Fighting Football Tigers being the closest to a championship, the difficulty to win the NCAA championship in football is so high that I cannot with confidence say them, even though I think they are poised to be the closest. So based on the randomness of the format, and because when you stop believing is when they really come to shine, I'll say the St. Louis baseball Cardinals.
Number one, if somebody can diagram that sentence and email it to me at tmckernan@STL.com, I'll Venmo you $10. Secondly, I agree with you.
Okay. I feel that you had me going in the first half there, but now we're back on board.
You feel like you got control of the show again?
No, I still can't hear.
Can we just listen to Tim rap and sing for the entire show tomorrow? That's from your mom's boyfriend.
No, you'll have Good Morning Grant.
Good Morning Grant will be in here.
Yeah, actually providing quality stuff.
I don't know if I've worked with Good Morning Grant. He works with me on Sound Story,
right?
But as far as doing Balloon Party,
no, it's usually
he's
rock.
on the board on TMA when we're on remote.
Yes, he has, and I believe that
I'm bullish on Good Morning Grant.
As am I.
He's a rising star in the industry.
Not
is
only
he older than you?
I think the same age or maybe a touch younger. Marshy's older than me. Rock's older than me. Tanner's younger than me. I think Grant and I are like right in the middle there.
Is that right? Just a young stable of up-and-coming stars in the industry.
Yeah, Rock's the seasoned veteran, ripe 33, and that's not old by any standard. So we're a young stable. But Grant is not only like super talented and really good, he's a wonderful person and the kind of guy you want to work with.
How have you instructed him to handle the show tomorrow? By being flustered and not getting us on the air and making references to Hartford's Narwhals? I'm
slightly nervous about a Wally Pipp situation.
Oh, you think you might be out?
Well, because I think every time someone else steps in here, I'm nervous about that because I was like to Marshy once, I was like, all right, if you come up with a couple questions for Tim to get him going, that'd be great. Like not expecting much out of him, honestly.
So you kind of sabotaged the show. That's interesting.
No, wow. I was just trying to make it easier on him. I was just trying to make it easier on him. Trying to make it easier on him. And then he sent me over like what he was going to send for questions. I was like, damn it, all this is better than what I got. So I was like, no good. Start over. But Grant just popped in the little station there, back there.
Yeah, he's probably already working on the questions for tomorrow.
He'll do great.
Friday 6-shooter.
Yeah. Good Morning Grant's Friday 6-shooter.
You're going to Billy Joel at the Garden?
Chi-Town, Chicago, Illinois. Right in the lake. Be nice.
Your favorite city? Going to a Cubs game?
No, it's not. It's far from my favorite city, to be honest with you.
Mount Rushmore, your favorite cities? Go.
St. Louis. Well, you only have one home.
I'm just listening. I don't know why you're defensive about it.
San Diego, San Francisco.
Have you been to all these?
Been to San Francisco for sure. I don't think I've ever been to San Diego.
And how in the hell it's your...
Because when it's 70 degrees every single day of the year, you've got me sold. San Francisco, and I should get an East Coast town in there. Not going to go to New York. I really liked Philly when I was in Philly. I liked Philly. I thought it was cool.
Motown Philly's back again. Boys to Men, 91, I think.
Yeah. Actually, changing Philly, I'll go Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay,
love Charleston,
Jackson's
South Carolina.
Mount Rushmore of cities, and he's been to 3 of them.
I have been to 3 of them.
Dan Jansen says your favorite city's Moscow.
Moscow? No, for multiple reasons. That would not work for me. I mean, I think I would they would not be surprised, because I have paler skin, lighter hair, certainly a thing in Eastern Europe. But I don't think we'd see eye to eye on some
MD
things.
2020 has just released his Mount Rushmore. He's got Festus, Pacific, Wentzville, and East St. Louis. So those are his Mount Rushmore. You see, for me and the majority of our listeners, the idea of flying to California or Charleston, South Carolina is just not what we're able to do. So I was kind of like, yeah, I mean, are you going to say like, Webster, Ladue, Huntley, Clayton? And then it was like San Diego. Oh, what do you love about San Diego? I haven't been there.
I could just imagine I would love it there.
And
I have been to San Francisco and loved it. Loved it.
And would you say Portland and Seattle?
Seattle.
Or any Scandinavian nation?
Portland, Seattle. Yeah.
Jackie the Lib choosing San Fran over San Diego is on brand.
I've chosen
it was, and he led the Cardinals in the 2004 and 2006 Game 7 NLCSs.
It was both.
Number 37.
I chose San Diego and San Francisco, not or. I can like both.
Philly, America's trash can. That's from DJ Patty Cakes.
Yeah, I'm sure they say. I'd love to hear their thoughts on St. Louis.
Who are we talking about here?
People of the city of brotherly love.
When the Rams were playing the Eagles, or as they call them in Philly, you know what they call them in Philadelphia? Do you know this?
Eagles?
They do, yeah. Look at you.
You've said Eagles many a time.
They write them. They write up like Eagles in the paper.
Interesting.
Or what was the paper? And I went up there in advance of that NFC Championship game. Donovan McNabb picked off by 1, 2, 3.
Tony Bank.
Tony Bank was never in the secondary.
Ty Hill.
He was never on a winning team.
Seahorn.
He didn't win a playoff game here, but he was active in losing one.
Trumaine Johnson.
This was 2002, Aeneas Williams.
Oh, nice. Hall of Famer.
That's right. In the hallway, right here.
Yeah.
Just a couple weeks ago. And I went up there and I went to WIP, well-known sports talk radio station, one of the original greats. And I asked them what they thought about St. Louis, and I watched them take phone calls and all that. And I remember a host, and I think his name was Anthony Gargano, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we played.
We've played some of his material.
We have on TMA.
He's still doing it 20 plus years later. And God bless him. And I said, well, what's the opinion of Philadelphians on St. Louis? We don't know a whole lot about it. It's a nice little burg in the Midwest. It's a nice haunt. And I go, I like that term, a nice haunt.
Sounds like my uncle.
So they weren't really all that familiar with us here. Oh, but 5 days later, when Aeneas Williams picked off Donovan McNabb, they were familiar, brother.
They found out.
You better ask somebody.
Was that Andy Reid coaching that club?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Boy, he's had a hell of a career.
You better believe it, Jack. You better believe it, Jackie.
He'll go down as one of the all-timers.
Philly is where the Stanley Cup run started, so I can't hate. That's from your mom's boyfriend. That's where Gloria was played.
Right. I was like, well, it wasn't their first series against Winnipeg, but no.
But what's it going to be like in November when the Cardinals and World Series MVP Jordan Walker
Nice. That'd be great.
are riding down Market Street with Randy Orton's walk-up music?
Count me in. I'll be there front row center.
I know it sounds like we're dropping acid here with these fever dreams, but what if you would have been told in early January 2019 that the Blues would have the parade down Market and they'd be blasting Gloria and Brett Hull would perform an emotional rendition of it
Almost a power ballad.
in front of hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm with it. Hey, listen.
All right.
I am down.
That's 2 wins in a row. I bet you hated the Rays jerseys last night.
Despised.
I was appalled.
It's so bad.
I knew we'd be on the same page on that.
So bad. Anytime you're wearing
I feel like I was staring at an eclipse.
Yeah, anytime you're wearing non-traditional gray or white baseball pants, you're already doing it wrong. This is the major leagues, man. This isn't a company softball team. You wear white pants and you wear normal gray pants. That's it.
I mean,
You
what are
want
we doing
to
here?
mess around with the colors on the jersey? Be my guest. Don't mess with the pant.
Don't mess with the pen is what Jackson tells the listeners this morning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, text into the program, participate in the YouTube chat. The program's called Balloon Party. It airs on 101 ESPN, and you can watch and participate in the chat on the 101 ESPN YouTube channel. It's Balloon Party 101 ESPN. Help wanted.
I'm back. I'm feeling so much better this segment.
Why are you feeling better for the second segment?
Yeah, I know.
I've been texting with Tommy Mattern and John Kioski.
Yeah, and I see Grant right there too. It's like watching. It's like
exactly.
It's like when they have you mentor the younger guy.
Yeah.
And you know they're going to take your spot eventually.
Sure. It's like Kurt Warner and Trent Green. I'm reliving it right now.
I like Trent.
I like Trent.
But I got my adapter back so I can hear the program.
Okay.
And we're good there. Got my laptop plugged in, so power is supplied.
Okay.
I have my bearings a little bit more.
Why this couldn't have been taken care of at 10 o'clock.
I know, and that's on me. You know, some people think I was making excuses. I wasn't.
Right.
It's a look in the mirror moment.
Those people were wrong. You were wrong, people.
Yes, you were wrong, and I'm taking accountability. The first segment's on me, but the heat that'll be brought from here on out.
You deserve credit for it, I guess. What you're saying.
No, actually the opposite.
Okay. Jackson wants the blame for the next 3 segments as well. He wants the blame for all 4 segments of today's show.
Yeah, put it on me.
He's vacationing. He's going to Chicago anyway here in a matter of hours. He doesn't care. That's the reality.
I'm actually leaving tomorrow morning.
Oh, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, it would have been like right in the middle of TMA. So
Driving,
yeah. I want to take I like taking the train personally, but no, my parents will be driving me.
314-399-9646.
Maybe I'll tune in tomorrow.
You had to call in and leave a mic drop.
I've done that before. I remember I went out of town. I believe that was the boys' trip to Tennessee.
Oh, yeah. There was like 20 guys in a cabin.
16 guys, 1 cabin. And it was during the NBA Finals, so I left a mic drop.
For the fast lane?
Well, no, for this show, for my thoughts on Game 1.
Did we play it?
Oh, yeah. What do you mean, did we play it? I left a mic drop. Of course we played it.
Didn't resonate. Jackson, what is the first question of today's, what is this called?
Today's Strike While the Piddles is Hot, right. And I actually have the hypothetical odyssey that is right in
hypothetical. All right, let's do it. I like a good hypothetical odyssey.
Which player getting right would net the most impact for 2024, Goldie or Arenado?
No, I don't have a strong feeling on that. Do you have an answer to this?
I think because I asked the question, the most impact for 2024, I will say Paul Goldschmidt, because home runs are needed and he can provide a little bit more of that. If I were to say just in general, I would say Nolan Arenado because you have him under contract for a couple more years after this. Goldie, of course, will not be under contract at the end of the year now if they re-sign him, different story. But
sure,
given
explaining
the parameters of my own question, I will say Paul Goldschmidt getting right.
Okay. All right. My honest answer is I don't have a strong feeling. Now, if I were auditioning for Skip Bayless's gig, I would start screaming at you and saying it has to be Nolan Arenado.
Yeah.
But that would be dishonest, and this, of course, is honesty in media.
Okay. All right. I was afraid you were going to say that. All right. Well, hopefully this next one.
Grant, you want to try out today?
What would be a better sign for the short-term future? Jordan Walker progressing positively at the major league level, or 2 of the Cardinal pitching prospects being ready to go next season?
And how was this phrased?
Hi, Rafe. What would be a better sign for the short-term future? Jordan Walker progressing positively at the major league level, or 2 of the Cardinals pitching prospects being ready to go next season?
Now this one puts me to the test.
Yes. Stay back there, Grant.
I'll say Jordan Walker. That's kind of got to happen.
Yeah, at a certain point.
I've noticed this. We've had some denial things go on over the last 15 years around these parts, Jackson. And I can recall on TMA, for example, getting scolded by the audience when we like, I think the Rams are leaving. Oh, no, that's not happened. I think the Rams were leaving. We got to talk about this. No, it's not. Okay, fine. If it's uncomfortable to talk about, people don't want to hear it. And I understand that. Media has become a model that is designed to give you what you want to hear as opposed, per se, to the truth. But the new thing on Jordan Walker, he's still a young kid. Give him time. It's not the way that the game works. And so if you have your 3rd year in which you were supposed to be in the major leagues, 3rd year, and you're still at Memphis, that, to me, is an indication that that is not going to happen. Whereas, even though, whether it be take your pick of from last week, McGreevy start, or Tink Hence, or Quinn Matthews, and they arrive, but Walker's still at Memphis. At that moment, you go, well, that's super encouraging that those guys have arrived. But what that would tell me is it's probably not going to happen, at least with the Cardinals, for Walker. And because the timeline is more advanced for Walker, whereas it's not for the other three names I listed, and the expectations were way higher for Walker last year, not this year, or not for 2025, that is why I will say Jordan Walker.
I'll take the opposite stance.
God, we're doing Stephen A. Smith crap in here today.
No, I think that, and I'll give my reasoning. And if you don't like the reasoning, then you can blame it on Stephen A. Smithing. Okay. I think that if you were to get young pitching prospects who are ready to go for next season, you would combine their salary, maybe $1.5 million, maybe $2 million tops. That is saving $18 million on Lynn and Gibson, and then likely having to acquire.
So you're saying they would go and not re-sign Lynn or Gibson because of
if you were
two
to get
of these three being ready?
Let's say
Hence, McGreevy and Matthews.
Let's say McGreevy and Hence, and then Matthews is like in AAA ready to come up for a spot start.
Well, they're gonna make this determination over the next 40 days.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay, so if you were to be able to have that, you're saving, like I said, about $18 million on
It's gonna
two
be a very
arms.
ballsy move for the organization.
But we're operating under that they're ready to go. And so,
I understand, but you only have 40 more days at the minor league level to determine this.
Sure, but then there's fall league, there's winter, there's...
Well, I understand, the seasons. I'm an educated man.
Yep.
But Lance Lynn and Gibson don't go, okay, let us know. We'll hang around until
I get that.
we see how Tink does in Arizona.
Right, but this is why it's the hypothetical.
Grant, come on in.
This is the hypothetical odyssey. Is that in this hypothetical moment here, we know that the pitcher's ready to go at the end of the season. We know that. Mm-hmm. If you were able to save $18 million or more on two arms, you could get somebody in the offseason to replace the $18 million. You're spending the $18 million elsewhere. That could be in place of the production that Walker could provide you. So for the short-term future, you would take care of two fronts at the same time. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to produce at the level of Jordan Walker, where he actually could be, but $18.5 million is a lot of money. You can get a lot of piece for that.
I understand that, and I don't disagree with $18.5 million being a lot of money, even though I think deep down you don't think it is.
Depends who you ask.
My premise is you're not going to see enough from two of those three guys to go, we've got Michaelis, we've got Fetty, and we've got Gray. We are now going to pass on Lynn and Gibson because we have seen enough in 2024 from two of the three, McGreevy, Tink Hence, Quinn Matthews, to pass on those guys. If this were April and we were having this conversation, I would see it as being realistic. I just don't think they've done enough at this point for the Cardinals to entrust 40% of their starts to guys who have a combined one major league start as of August 8th. Right. That's my reasoning. In a vacuum, it would be lovely, but realistically, I don't think it's going to happen.
So I'll ask you this.
Okay, I'll take this follow-up question.
Do you think Lynn and Gibson's team option will be picked up by the end of the season?
By the end of the season?
Well, do you think Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson will be pitching for the Cardinals next season?
Well, that's a different question, but I would say one will, and I would bet my Red Rider on that.
Okay, all right. I'm not going to bet you against you because I think that's going to happen. I actually think maybe both of them will be back.
I think that's certainly in play.
Like if you had to ask me what's more likely, both of them are back or neither of them back, both are back.
I mean, I suppose I would be setting 1.5 as my over-under for Lance Lynn, Kyle Gibson in 2025.
Yeah, I'll take the over. I think
really think both are back.
I think based on exactly what you just said, and this is why I find it to be the biggest thing, is that who else are you going to get? Are you going to spend that much more money on pitching when the offense is also in clear need of improvement? And you're going to be missing out on Paul Goldschmidt and the little offense he's provided this year, but certainly some. Yeah, I think that, the pitching takes away from the offensive issues as well. I think it's all a snowball effect.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I truly do agree with it. By the way, Jordan Walker had another hit last night, 1 for 4, and he is 10 for 27 in the month of August. Again, small sample size still, 6 games played, but hitting .370 and an OPS of Jackson. You like 1,000 as opposed to 1.0?
Yeah. Yep. 1,000.
1,097.
That's a good OPS. I don't care, no matter which way you like it. Whichever way you slice it, that's a good OPS, and that's a good sign. That's a really good sign. But
super encouraging, especially considering where things were. 213 was his batting average for July, and 654 OPS.
Whew. Jeez. Brutal. Just a news and notes moment here.
Oh, I like good news and notes.
Friend of the show, Ben Hochman, wrote an article this morning saying that Nolan Gorman might set the MLB record for strikeout percentage. Strikeout percentage.
That's
concerning.
That's white noise. Obviously, it's concerning. What is alarming, though, is how he went from a guy that was kind of, when things were going well, a key part of it, to a guy that they just don't even put out there right now.
And how could they legitimately put him out there when you got other guys who are performing? And it's not like defensively he's a wizard by any means. He's a fine defender, but when you're batting like that, when you are Mr. Strikeout and not hitting the home runs to go with it, if he was hitting home runs, if he had 30, 35 bombs, whole different game. But given he's had 3 homers since June 20th. 3 homers since June 20th. Not going to cut it when you're striking out like that.
Oh, well, breaking news. Don Pepe. I'm not a man in love, but I do have a senorita I'm talking to kind of seriously. It's great to hear.
It's awesome. Hey, good on you. And the senorita. I hope she's doing wonderful as well.
Yeah, that's great.
That's what I want from all the listeners is enrichment in their own lives. And then you bring that energy to us. I want enriching culture.
Oh, my gosh.
This kind of negative thing that's been going on.
Where has that been going on?
The internet since its inception. I'm trying to turn the worm on that.
Really?
Yeah. Turn the entire internet positive.
Look at Jackson. His mission is turn the internet positive. Well, he'll be off tomorrow. Grant will be in, but back on Monday, and we'll have more of the Little Piddles strike while the Piddles is hot with this hypothetical odyssey here on Balloon Party. 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Action Jackson. This is a Sports Center update, and it's brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Cardinals win yesterday 5-2, the final score in last night's game. The win goes to Eric Fetty, his first win as a St. Louis Cardinal. And today, yesterday, U.S. beat Brazil 122-87, final score. I actually think that was 2 days ago. Good Sports Center update before I leave, but I tried my best. That was another Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. My bad.
I have talked with BK and Ferrario, and I will be handling their program today. And the next 3.5 hours here will be on Jackson Sports Center Update. We'll replay it.
So bad, dude. I typed in USA basketball, and I can't get a time for the game today against Serbia. I knew they're playing Serbia today.
So you decided to update people on the game from 2 days ago.
And say it was yesterday.
Yeah, the Cardinals playing. The Cardinals won their game this afternoon. Oh, so we took a trip in Christopher Lloyd's DeLorean.
They won yesterday. Eric Fetty with a W. My bad. That was my bad. There's bad Sports Center updates. Sometimes you just got to wear it, and that was one of those that are bad. It's
amazing you guys have made it this long on air.
Isn't
That's
it?
From Seals Mowing Service. I'm on board with Seals Mowing Service.
Seals Mowing Service.
I like that. That's like the Grape Ape Auto Detailing. I'm on board.
Yeah, hey, anyone who's listening, good on you. But yeah, that's my bad. That was a bad one.
Seals Mowing Service is like to issue a clarification. By you guys, I mean Jackson. With all due respect, that was the worst Sports Center update I've ever heard. That's from Marsh's Burner, so you just made history.
I've had a couple that would.
I think that might be the worst, actually.
No, because I never there was no pause. I wasn't nervous. I was I kind of just wore it in real time. They play Serbia today, Tim. I know you were wondering at 2 p.m. Central.
2 p.m. start. Okay.
2 p.m. against
a lot of day baseball, but not here in St. Louis.
No, and I also didn't give the time for the game today either. So good on me. No game Sunday. I'll tell you that right here, right now.
Nice.
So that was my bad on the Sports Center update. I want to make that clear again. Sorry.
I like that apology. I didn't mind it.
My bad.
All right. Jackson has apologized. I would imagine the audience will leave that in the past, and we'll just move on.
It is what it is. I didn't give the wrong score of anything. The U.S. did beat Brazil, and the Cardinals won last night. So
then the U.S. and Brazil played earlier this morning. What, Paris time?
They played 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
Played 2 days ago. The U.S. beat them. Devin Booker, obviously son of Melvin Booker, Mizzou legend, had 18 points. Wet like I'm Book. Wet like I'm Lizzie. All right.
It's unbelievable what I'm listening to. I can't believe this. Wow, Joey Vitale was listening, and he says that was the worst Sports Center update in 101 ESPN's history.
Joe.
I mean,
Joe.
You want a guy who's going to tell you what he thinks.
But maybe at the end,
we're not in the feelings business. We're not in the feelings business.
I'm in the feelings business. All I think about is my feelings. I
314-399-9646.
wholeheartedly disagree with that. But at the end, he didn't say but I really thought it was funny, and
nope, that was it. Just kind of right there. There was no period, but that's a CBC thing.
Take that, Vitale.
What is the next question on this hypothetical odyssey?
Hypothetical odyssey is done. That didn't yield what I thought it would. But I have a deep dive.
2 very, very vanilla questions.
Vanilla is a lot of people's favorite flavor, so I don't see what the beef with that is. Never mind. All right.
Joey Vitale's working blue in my phone.
It's good stuff, though. We like talking about sliding doors moments.
Yes, I'm a big sliding. Gwyneth Paltrow, 1998.
Is that your favorite Gwyneth Paltrow movie?
Boy, there's so many. I mean, I think 7 has to be the George Washington on the Mount Rushmore.
Fortunate ending for
I've never seen Shakespeare in Love. It won Best Picture.
And didn't deserve it.
Wow, what should have won?
Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, I think a lot of people would agree with that take.
100%.
I think you might have won some people back there.
My favorite.
Not enough, but still some.
Talented Mr. Ripley. She is outstanding. And that movie just rocks.
Okay, there it is. The Mount Rushmore of Gwyneth Paltrow movies. You kind of get what you expect on Balloon Party. All right, what's Where are we going here? Sliding doors.
I want to deep dive on the sliding doors moments for Mizzou football that has set them up for a season we could be talking about for the rest of our natural lives. You can be as comprehensive as you want, and you can go back as far as you'd want.
Okay. But I don't understand what are we doing?
So Mizzou is currently set up, and we've seen it all in press clippings and otherwise, that this could be a really amazing year. The football playoff has expanded. The team has a lot of returning guys who are very impactful. They were 10-2 last year.
Biggest thing to me is that people who are not tied to Missouri via having gone there, or kids who go there, or their parents went there, are paying attention. I don't know if I would say invested yet. You're undefeated and you win at College Station. I think you're going to have some people going, you'd like to think that you take care of business in Amherst. Not many people do because not many people go. And then you come back and you got a little Saturday morning against War Dam Eagle down in Columbia, Missouri, brother, as you get ready to send the boys off to take on Roll Dam Tide the following weekend. And Missouri's undefeated at number 4 in the country, and this state is talking Missouri football. That's the ideal set of circumstances, Jackie Papers.
Could you even say that the entire Show Me State would be up for snatch grabs?
Well, the St. Louis Chiefs fans would probably be still locked in.
They got Nick Bolton.
But that's the scenario. The schedule lends itself to another undefeated September. It certainly should.
So my question to you is, what are some of the sliding doors moments that, like, let's say Texas never proposes the Longhorn Network, or this is a situation if
I don't follow what you're saying. So you're talking about going back, how we got to this point?
You can go back as far as you want, but think about the sliding doors if Luther Burden never decides to come to Mizzou. Because not only would you not have Luther Burden, but think of all the guys who probably never would have thought about coming to Mizzou before one of the best players in the nation.
So your question is how we got to this point.
Yes, sir. They never hired Drinkwitz. Drinkwitz wasn't the AD's choice.
It was Blake Anderson, who has since been terminated from Utah State, who was coming from Arkansas State. But I actually think you hit the nail on the head. As obscure, I mean, it doesn't make up for the Sports Center update. I don't think anything will, and I think when you meet with HR, you'll hear that.
HR is going to have a beef with it.
Well, HR will be present when John and Tommy talk to you about it.
Right, for legal reasons.
Right. But the Longhorn Network, I actually think, is the answer.
Yeah, might be.
That is so... I tip my cap. I doff my cap to you for that.
I feel like Paul Skeens and Bush.
I mean, yeah. Because if Texas doesn't do their Longhorn Network thing, I don't think Missouri's ever looking around at the Big Ten Network or Big Ten or SEC.
Right.
And Missouri wanted to go to the Big Ten.
Yep.
And, of course, Nebraska did, because why not?
Right.
So, I actually do, if you want to, cite how, because if Missouri wasn't in the SEC and Missouri had this roster, but they were in the Big 12 still,
right,
you wouldn't have what's going on.
Not at least in St. Louis. Certainly not in St. Louis.
Yeah, you're right, because Kansas City people kind of like that.
Yeah.
Goofball conference.
Yeah, and then the hardest of hardcores wouldn't care. But I think for the casual St. Louis fan, basically, if you're Mizzou, that's who you're going after. If we're talking this is like a political race, those are the people you're targeting.
You got to win St. Louis.
You got to get the casual fans from St. Louis, because that's a big part of it. Casual fans in Chicago, casual fans in Nashville. The places where kids go to Mizzou, those are popular places. Dallas is a place where kids go to Mizzou. That's a really big thing. So you want to get the casual fans there. Then you've created a little bit of an ecosystem to build on. And I think if you're talking long-term, the Longhorn Network, and then I think in the short term, I would accept either Drinkwitz being hired, even though he wasn't the first choice by the AD, or Luther Burden kind of being the pioneer of a 5-star top recruited player to say, I'm going to Mizzou. I went to high school in St. Louis and East St. Louis. I'm going to Mizzou. I'm keeping it home, going to Mizzou.
I would agree with those if we're going big picture. And I don't know how, for real, the Longhorn Network thing was that's one of my weird answers. So I'm really you're all grown up and you're all grown up, or you're regressing to me. Take your pick. As far as a micro moment last year, I would say it's Mevis's kick.
Yeah.
And my reasoning is the same way that I look at the A&M game is kind of okay, if they win that, this thing can go off. If they lose that, it doesn't mean it can be a bad season. Hell, they could still get to college football playoff. A&M's ranked in the top 15 by the coaches.
Yeah,
somewhere
I think
right around
13.
There. So going down to College Station and winning is not something you expect. I like that it's a morning game from a visiting standpoint.
Big time.
A night game at College Station.
Brutal.
That's a different scene. So last year, if they lose that K-State game after playing a really good game.
Yeah.
But also keep in mind, and it's kind of forgotten, but there was a delay of game penalty before, which was inexplicable and indefensible.
Yes.
Before that kick. Imagine how things turn if they lose that game.
Yeah.
And there's a delay of game penalty, and what the conversation would have been like on TMA, on 101, on Bloom Party, take your pick, wherever, if they lose that game. And then there's a spiral effect. There's so important, in my opinion anyway, is the mental element in whether it be an individual sport or a team sport. And that is why I was high on Missouri last year, is I'm like, you look at that schedule, and I don't remember the randos they were playing before K-State.
I do. Middle Tennessee State was the first
Middle Tennessee
game.
State. No, there was a rando on Thursday night, like South Dakota.
Yeah, the first game of the year was South Dakota State. The
Then
second
it was Middle
game,
Tennessee State, and that looked weird.
Yes,
but to me, the K-State game, it made it clear, which I was such a fan of. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but we were looking at the offense going, oh my goodness,
bad. It was bad going into that game.
And so I look at it, I go, they're going, we're going to beat these two teams by sitting on the football, and then we're going to come out. You know what we're going to do? We're going to go rocky right-handed on them. They're thinking we're going left. We're going rocky right-handed, and they're not going to know what hit them. And I think one of the first plays was a deep ball to Burden, if I'm not mistaken.
It was his.
And clearly
massive.
they had been sitting on the ball offensively, and I thought that was brilliant. Certainly risky. My God, they lose to Middle Tennessee State. Holy crap.
Yeah, they got close.
But they played a damn good game. And if you have a delay of game penalty right before a game-winning field goal attempt, and then you lose that game in overtime, what the domino effect would have been, I just don't believe they wind up having the kind of year they had. Obviously, they don't get to play Ohio State. I just don't think they play as well as they did in the first half against LSU.
Yeah.
Maybe there's another blow-up along the way.
Kentucky,
the comeback against Kentucky, that fake punt, huge. So all these domino effects, I think it can blow it up. So that Mevis kick
was the catalyst.
Was a catalyst. You're exactly right. So from a macro perspective, if Texas isn't looking to start up the Longhorn Network, I don't think Missouri leaves the Big 12.
Yep.
So I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Missouri being in the SEC, what a huge step for Missouri college football. A signature moment in the program's history, in the program's entire history, was that move. But it doesn't happen without Texas trying to monopolize a conference of 12 teams. 10:50 in St. Louis. Time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers. This is Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. Welcome back to Balloon Party 101 ESPN. Tim McKernan, Jackson Burkett with you. And we have 5 minutes, Jackson. How do you want to maximize these before you go to your favorite city, Chicago?
So yesterday, Tim, I came up with nothing in terms of quick hitters. And
Today, you're loaded for bear, brother.
I have more than I know what to do with.
Ladies and gentlemen, watch Jackson perform.
Rapid fire questions. Which coach in the SEC would you most want to get a beer with?
Nice question. Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, that was the auto answer.
Okay, but if it's not Lane Kiffin, who?
Not Billy Napier. Not really into that whole deal. Kirby would seem like he'd have some stories.
Like
he's got probably have some stories with him. Lane Train is the number one answer. Pittman could probably get after it a little bit, but I think that the Lane Train and then Kirby would be fun. Hugh Freeze probably has some unbelievable stories.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Kelly might be intriguing as well. I don't want him to grind on me.
Yeah, well, we'd have to go somewhere without a jukebox. Yeah. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to help himself.
I need that.
Masters tickets or tickets to a Missouri home college football playoff game.
I was like, it doesn't matter what the other one is because I'm taking Masters tickets.
Masters happens every year.
Goodness.
Never know when you might get another chance at this.
I think I'm going the Missouri home playoff game.
Yeah, I think just because, like, if it was like Georgia or something, and like obviously this is the first year of the CFP having home games.
Because it's going to be under the lights, even if the game starts at 2. At
yeah,
that
exactly.
Point, it's going to be
late.
Dark at 5.
Right, and I assume that game will be 5 hours long.
What a scene it'll be. Give me energy. I love me some energy. That's why I was like, when Missouri played Kansas to be number 1 in the country in 2007, I'm like, I don't really care what they cost. You know?
Yeah.
But just, I got to be there for this.
Yeah.
And it did not disappoint. Because, listen, Missouri won. I was pretty confident that was going to happen. But either way, it was about the energy.
Right.
Woo, cats and dogs.
Absolutely. Cardinal, St. Louis baseball Cardinal, you always felt was underrated. Someone that kind of flew under the radar, but was always effective.
I like this question.
You'll get a lot of
underrated. Man. It's kind of, I'll go decade by decade for you.
I love it. I love it.
I hate to like show off. Like, okay, you want me to hit a flop shot? I can.
Right. Just open that club face up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm confident enough to do it. It's just gonna just trundle down to the pin. 1980s Terry Pendleton. Okay. I think he probably got more appreciated once he went to Atlanta. Was he the 91 MVP? Somebody will look that up.
It's like for the season or for the World Series?
I think the season.
1991 MVP.
But
Terry Pendleton.
Of course he was. 1990s.
Tough to be underrated in that decade because there was not a lot of greatness.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like saying Brian Jordan might, people be like, oh, he wasn't underrated. But that's a direction.
Anytime, overrated, underrated, you're going to be, it's like perspective.
Super subjective.
Right.
2000s.
This is where I can join in.
Woody Williams.
Okay. Fair answer.
He was just so good. Mm-hmm. And he was not before he came here, at least in the recent years, leading up to coming over in 2001. And the teens. I feel like this is almost like a Take Smith contrarian answer because there was so much nonsense off the field, but there were times when he was really good.
Oh, Carlos Martinez.
Smart.
Yeah. I think that's a good answer. It's not the answer I was thinking of.
But I mean, it's wide delta. It wasn't like, all right, like Woody Williams, you pretty much knew it was going to be solid, but around baseball, it was going to be underappreciated.
Yeah.
But Low Smart, he could deal.
Yeah.
He could win you a game.
2015
But
All-Star.
He also could go out and give you a third of an inning and
blue hair.
Just depending what the lineup was at Penthouse the night before.
Blue hair, too. And everyone loves that.
You like that?
Well, people in St. Louis embraced it.
Of course they did.
I was going to say
Ozuna's neon green sleeve. What were you going to go with?
2010s. Now, this player is probably going to be in the Hall of Fame, But I feel like when you think of him, you don't think of him as a Cardinal. Lance Berkman was damn good when he was on the Cardinals. Like, really good. It was the tail end of his
career. I have a tough time with calling him underrated.
I know, that's the thing.
Especially for a guy who's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
I know.
Shame, because we had such a great segment going. It was going to be on my resume reel. But they probably aren't interested in you anyway, so we'll just go, yeah, that's the guy I work with. I mean, look how good I am, and despite. That's what I'll say.
But then they're going to say that you put him there to make yourself look better.
That's true.
Okay, all right. Just making sure.
Yeah.
But like even when you talk about the 2011 Game 6, it's a long time before Lance Berkman's name comes up. And I mean, in reality, outside of Freese hitting the home run, his hit to extend the game was just as important as Freese's.
Sure.
And so I always feel like
Don't straw man me as I'm landing the plane.
Not always, but I feel like...
Head to Chicago, get up on I-55 with your parents driving, and you having Grey Poupon in the back.
That's, what, just mustard? Like
all you're gonna
spoonfuls
have.
of
That's
it?
That's exactly right. That's what goes on at Horton Watkins. Time for us to go. BK and Ferrario are up next. Jackson's vacationing tomorrow. For Jackson, Bennett Burkett, I'm Timothy Michael McKernan. This has been Balloon Party, driven by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota on 101 ESPN and the 101 ESPN YouTube channel.